Hey guys, what's down? And Plants vs. Zombies. Your brother knows about it, your grandparents know about it, the demon under your bed knows about it, everyone knows about it. After making money, Plants vs. Zombies became pretty popular. Nothing too big though, just Game of the Year. Now, unlike its sequels, Plants vs. Zombies was released on several different platforms. You know, you got PC, console, mobile, BlackBerry, the pregnancy test, they're all there. But most importantly, the Nintendo DS. Twice. Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but there's basically a cartridge version and a DSiWare download version, the latter of which only has a story mode, but does have an exclusive minigame, so we're going to come back to it. Anyway, Plants vs. Zombies was released for the DS, which is funny because if you aren't aware, the concept of Plants vs. Zombies was actually made for the DS. Obviously, the game would later be developed for the PC, but it did eventually run on the DS. Anyway, I have a long history with Plants vs. Zombies. Would always play with my cousin on his PC, then come home and describe the game to my brother, who was apparently scared the first time he heard about it. Specifically the newspaper zombie. I know, this guy is beyond scary.
Oh hell no! Hell no!
Around this time I only had two things I could play with. A Game Boy Advance SP and a DSi. That's about it. But one day we were going through Best Buy and my eyes bailed a crazy sight. Plants vs. Zombies on the DS. I asked my parents if I can get it, and they said no. Now, if this was any other game, I would have probably given up and moved on. Nah! This was Plants vs. Zombies. I wasn't about to let it slide! I don't remember how, but eventually I convinced them to get the game. Totally worth it. Plants vs. Zombies for the DS is a weird game because it seems most people respect the game a lot, but then there's still people finding themselves disrespecting it. Most of the insults basically stem from its art direction and music.
Well, you can't play music with a piece of paper!
Hooray! Hooray! That was great, Squidward. All those wrong notes you play made it sound more original.
What? I didn't play any wrong notes.
Yeah, see, you're playing it like this. When ordinarily it goes like this. I'm partially doing it in the key of A minor myself.
One comment said, this game looks like a really good fan game. I can't tell if that's a compliment or an insult. Specifically, people saying the sunflower gives them nightmares. It's weird because when I played the game, I didn't notice it was pixelated. Even though I played the PC version. My brain was playing tricks on me, I tell ya, completely ignoring the art style. I was just too locked into the gameplay. The sprites are weird because some of them are new sprites made for the DS version that look pretty rad, honestly. And then the rest are just taken from the PC version and basically compressed. Also, can I sit here and realize that I didn't notice that most of the plants had their names as puns? Pea shooter refers to a weak gun. Potato mine is a term for a love for potatoes. Young me definitely didn't know what a cherry bomb was. And there's snow pea. Yeah, I think we all know what that means. Another issue with this game is how slow it runs if too many things happen at once. This is kind of an issue because if you play any sort of survival mode in Plants vs. Zombies, you would know that the game would eventually have a bunch of crap on screen. You want to see all your Gatling peas shoot all the zombies and take them out, but now the game is slowing the crap down. There's also one less slot you can use in this version, which I guess sucks. I don't know why I mentioned this. Let's not forget the top screen, which is reserved for zombies. Just kind of walking. Or this bird that constantly gets shocked when I'm selecting things. This game definitely also has some weird glitches. Like in Zombani, there's a pea shooter zombie. If you use the Hypnoshroom to hypnotize the zombie in the PC version, it will just shoot the zombies. Makes sense. But not in the DS version. Instead, the zombie will shoot its peas at your plant still. So now it just kind of looks like it's shooting backwards. I can't find footage of this, so I'm getting it myself. There's also the more serious glitches where zombies get stuck at the beginning of the lawn, but for some reason this glitch only happens in one particular minigame. I've got it to happen once though. Oh, and I played a lot of Plants vs. Zombies. For example, did you know that if you have one column of sunflowers, you can kill a puzzle zombie with only 2 pea shooters? When it comes to original content, most of that comes in the form of minigames. Now this version comes with a total of 4 original minigames. One of these is Heatwave, where we use the DS's best feature, the microphone. When your plants get too hot, I guess, you scream into your mic, which I guess revives them or wake them up because you're yelling, hey. I'm not entirely sure what is exactly supposed to be happening. All I know is that the pea shooter is now on steroids and is shooting 4 times as fast. It's like plant food before plant food. Oh, yeah,
Hello,
there's also
everybody. My name
walnuts.
is Markiplier.
I should also probably mention that you can just move your plants around the lawn because why not? Most people aren't a huge fan of how this replaced Big Trouble Little Zombies, because I too want to see tiny zombies in the game this pixelated. Moreover, since this is the only minigame to replace an already existing one, it's allowed to be part of the story mode, meaning it actually has two versions of itself. Therefore, the second time you play, they gotta step it up by adding a freaking Gargantuar! My opinion on this minigame? It's a minigame, alright. I don't know, what am I supposed to say? It uses the mic in the weirdest way possible.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a
Maybe it's because I have no clue what this minigame is supposed to represent. I don't know. Moving on, we got Home Run Derby. Baseball! The thought process for this minigame was definitely, oh, people swipe their stylus the most. Let's make a game where they swipe baseballs.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts.
Jokes aside, this minigame is pretty cool. I dig how the zombies got a whole reskin. Basically, you gotta swipe the basketballs, yeah, those aren't baseballs, to win. And in order to win, you gotta get 30 home runs. And I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what this minigame considers a home run. It's definitely somewhere in the middle, but sometimes it just fails. Maybe it's random, I don't entirely know. You get like 50 sun for every home run, so you can place some explosives, or defensive plants, or the chomper. What makes it interesting is you can redirect them towards the zombies, knocking them out, which also gives you way more sun. You can also kill the catapult zombie, but he'll respawn infinitely, so don't bother. Once you get into the groove of it, the minigame is pretty easy.
No reaction.
Yeah, I really like it. There's a reason promotions in the manual use this minigame in particular as the main focus. Next minigame is Bomb All Together. I'ma be honest, I have no clue why this minigame is here. Doesn't use any of the DS's gimmicks, so like, why is it here? All this is a minigame where you gotta carefully take out the zombies with a certain amount of explosive plants. This is more of a puzzle than a minigame. Also, why is it so hard? I don't know what to say. Maybe this was a leftover minigame, or maybe they thought that the DS needed an epic minigame to show how much better it is. Last minigame is Air Raid, and easily the best one. It's like those levels from Cuphead. You use the stylus to direct the flying Mega Gatling Pea shooter and avoid attacks. There are also power-ups like 3-peater, which is mid. I'd rather stay at Gatling Pea. Pumpkin, still shield. And Jalapeno! It's fun. There's a reason I played this minigame the most. And it's a little challenging. I especially like how he throws out zombies, so we have to kill them like they were regular zombies. Pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
I always trolled my cousin who only had the PC version saying, in my version, the last minigame is a cool shooter where the pea shooter is in the air. I don't think he ever believed me. I still wish I brought the DS and blew his mind, but at the time I wasn't allowed to bring my DS over. It would have been so cool. It would have been so awesome. It would have been so cool. And then there's also that one minigame from the DSiWare called Zombie Trap. You basically use your stylus to drag a brain around and lure the zombies into the square before dropping a cage where a bunch of crows eat the zombies. What the fuck? It's every exclusive minigame. I mean, it's not like we lose that much content from the original. It's basically just extra content. I see this as a W for the DS. Another W for Costco. There's also Versus, which is a multiplayer mode. But most of y'all know it for the console version.
Here they come! No! What the f? Why is he going so fast? What the f?
Nothing too interesting about this mode except this new zombie called Trash Zombie. He's just a cheap buckethead that walks really slowly. Freaking trash. Get it? Because he's literally trash! The zombies basically win by reaching the house. Pretty normal. While the zombies have to knock down targets, I guess. In case you're wondering, the plants have a serious advantage. The plants don't even have to kill all the targets, they just have to kill 3. Zombies have to use graves that double as protection to their targets, and their version of a sunflowers, they also need to buy things too, because, you know, I like capitalism, but I prefer
Communism was actually kind of tight.
So prices also change in this version, for what is a weird change in meta. How did they manage to buff the Pushroom? This ain't real. People take this seriously, by the way, so much so that the Doom Shrooms are banned. I wonder why. There's no balloon zombies for some reason, which means you aren't allowed to pick Blover. Like, the game physically won't let you. But you're still allowed to pick Cactus, because Hope is dead. You're also still allowed to use pots. You can place them in the grass. I, for the longest time, didn't know you could place pots on the grass. Probably for a good reason. And then there's Sudden Death, where the game just takes away the sunflowers and graves. From what I can tell, whenever I played the game, we always wanted to play as zombies because it was cool and they were different. Plants are boring. And we understand the meta, so yeah. Versus mode, however, is more prominent in the console ports, but they're basically the same outside of graphics, which is why the console ports are more popular, because of graphics, and because playing versus with DSs is a lot harder to do. But that's all there is to versus mode. There's also an achievement called Book Learner. It's just an achievement where you fill out the whole almanac. I don't know, it's exclusive to the DS version. I just went to the wiki to see if I was missing anything, and they thought this achievement was important enough to mention, so woo! And there you have it, Plants vs. Zombies on the DS. It's a port, alright. It's pretty cool. It's my childhood. Would recommend. Plants vs. Zombies 1 sold very well. Now let's talk about EA.